guys, welcome to my channel. I wanted to do a really sparkly spring inspired halo eye look. I wanted to use pinks, kind of like rose gold colors, something smoky and dramatic but also like pretty. I really love how this turned out. I ended up using the Jaclyn palette and then a NYX glitter for the center of the lid, and yeah, it's super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see how I created this look, then stick around. To get started, I'm going to grab this pure Marula Facial Oil, and I am going to just put a little bit of that on my fingers, rub them together, and then just kind of pat that all over my face. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of this Aloe Pure Time Repair Serum. I got this in Boxycharm forever ago, sometime last year I believe, and I love it. I use it sparingly, but I use it almost every day because I love the way that it makes my skin feel, and I feel like it really does help decrease the appearance of fine lines and imperfections on the face. Reduces the signs of aging, you know. I'm 31 now, so I've got to do what I can to help myself out, you know. So I just like to dab a little bit of this all over my face. Like I said, I use it sparingly. It's very expensive. I think it was like close to $50 in that Boxycharm box, and so I want to get as much out of it as I can. I like to kind of press in these products because it just really helps the skin absorb it, and it kind of fills the pores and gives a more clean, smooth surface. I'm going to grab my MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This is NW10, and I also have NC30. I like to take mostly the NW10 and put it a little bit on my hand, and then I take just the tiniest bit of this NC30 just to darken that up, because if I don't, it's way too light when I have some fake tan on. Just like that. I'll just take my finger and just kind of mix those two shades together like that. And then I'm just going to dab that all over my face. I'm doing a pretty glam look, so I'm going to go for a more full coverage foundation for this look. I don't typically wear this much foundation unless I'm doing something like super glam, because I just feel like really glam eye looks look so much better with a really like perfect, flawless looking base. But if I'm just doing like minimal makeup, a lot of times I don't even wear foundation, but I'll do like a BB cream or just some concealer and skip the full coverage foundation. I'm gonna grab a damp beauty blender, and I'm just gonna start pounding that into the skin. I'm actually going to turn that down a little bit. Sorry about the change of lighting, guys. I felt like that looked way too bright. Hopefully this is better. It feels so good to be filming again. I've seriously missed it so much. I just really like to share what I love with you guys. It gives me a reason to be really creative and come up with different makeup looks to share, and just to share the knowledge that I have about makeup, and also to learn. Yeah, I'm just so thankful that I get to start doing this again, and I can actually, you know, have the energy to film and all that. So I'm just gonna make sure that I blend it up into the hairline so that it doesn't look like I'm wearing a mask. And of course, make sure that you blend it down the neck. I forgot to mention this already, but I've already done my brows. You can probably tell. Now I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade Fair, and I'm going to use this as an eyeshadow base. So I'm just going to dab it on my lid, and a little bit of this goes a long way, so I'm not going to worry about putting too much. And then I'm going to use my finger to kind of buff that all over the lid. You can do this with your finger, you can use a brush. And this is just gonna create like a really flawless canvas for your eyeshadow. It's gonna cover up any discoloration that you have on the lids. I always do this if I'm gonna do eyeshadow. If I'm not doing eyeshadow, then I don't bother putting concealer on the lids. And honestly, I never use eyeshadow bases. I never bother buying them. I kind of feel like it's a waste of money if concealer works just as good. I'm kind of the same with face primers, honestly. I'm not sure that I believe they actually really do make that much of a difference. I do believe that skincare and moisturizing makes a huge difference in makeup application, but I'm not sure if I believe that primer really makes a difference yet. Now I'm going to take my Airspun loose translucent powder. Just grab a little fluffy brush like this one, and I will rub that all over my lid where I placed concealer. And I think I want to do some kind of really like rose gold glittery glam look because I feel like rose gold is very spring, and I wanted to do some kind of spring glam look, but I want to do something smoky and a little bit more dramatic. So I'm just going to kind of wing it. I'm going to grab my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to look in here. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think first I'm going to come in with the shade right here. It's MFEO right there. I'm going to use that as my transition shade. This brush, it is a scone blending brush, and start blending that into my crease. I want to take this really high because I have hooded lids, so I want to bring that color pretty high up on my brow bone here, leaving, of course, a little bit between my brow and the shadow, but taking it up pretty high. With hooded lids, you've got to use up the space up above, because when you relax your eye, like I'm doing right now, all of this skin folds over the lid, and everything that you place on here, well, not everything, but a lot of it disappears under that fold. And so bringing the shadow up higher kind of gives the illusion that your lids are bigger. I'm just gonna keep building on that color. I think I'm just gonna focus on one eye, and then I'll do the other one off camera so that this video doesn't get too long. So I'll do this one with you guys, and then I'll do this one off camera. Now I'm going to grab this Moda Pro crease brush. It's the BMX 430. I think I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. It is called Roxanne, and I'm going to work that into the crease as well, but keeping it a little bit lower, still taking it pretty high, but not quite as high as the transition shade. Sorry about the static, it's my baby monitor. Again, I'm just building up the intensity of that color just a little bit at a time. And then I'm going to take that same shade down on the inner and the outer corners of the eye, since I'm doing a halo eye look here. Just kind of packing that on instead of brushing it, so that it gets a lot of color placed there. The inner corner as well. And then I'll come back in with that scone blending brush and just buff out all those edges. Now I'm going to take this small Luxie, I think it's a Luxie 237 brush. It's a blending brush. It's smaller so you can get in a more concentrated area. And I think I'm going to grab this shade right here. It is called Hilster, and I'm going to place that just right in the crease. I'll take it up a little bit above the crease, keeping it lower again so that I don't cover up the shades that I placed before. This is just going to add more depth to this look. Grab that shadow, that same shadow that I just placed in the crease, and I'm going to bring it down on the very outer and the very inner corners of the eye. Just like before, I'm going to pack it on instead of brushing it on. Inner corner as well. There we go. Now I'm going to grab the Moda Pro brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that shade Roxanne, and I'm going to place that just a tiny bit, really light hand. I'm going to start blending that right above the Hilster shade that I just put in the crease, just to make sure it's really blended nicely. I'm trying to keep this more round as well. And then I'm going to grab that scone blending brush. I'm not going to put any product on it. I'm just going to buff out those edges. This is just a BH Cosmetics. I think this is actually a lip brush. But I like to use these when I'm cutting the crease because I can just be really precise with it, because otherwise it just gets so messy and I can't get a very clean line. So the smaller, the better for me. I'm going to grab my Tarte Shape Tape again in the shade Fair. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of that concealer. For hooded eyes, there's a little trick. I've seen it all over Instagram and all over YouTube, and it is a game changer when you're trying to do a halo eye look for hooded eyes, to really figure out where to place it so that it's visible. And so what you do is you just start applying the concealer. Let me get closer to my mirror here. Anyways, you place the concealer kind of right on the crease, like that, and then you look up, and then where it lays, you see where it stops, that's my guide. So when I put my eye up, where the concealer touched, the highest point of where the concealer landed is my guide, and that's where I'm going to cut my crease. Okay guys, there's seriously nothing more infuriating than having to pause and then forgetting to press record again, and I totally did that. So you didn't miss a whole lot, but you did miss me working on or cutting that crease all over the inner third of my eye, and then just kind of dragging it all the way down to my lash line. I'm so sorry. Such a bummer. Oh, so frustrating. So now I'm going to come in with this NYX glitter. It is in the shade GLI02, I believe. This is what it looks like. It's just really pretty rosy gold glitter. And I am going to grab a little bit of my Duo Lash Glue, and I'm going to just place that all over my lid where I'm going to put that glitter. Make sure you wait till the glue gets tacky and kind of leave your eye open like this so that you don't glue your eyelid. I'm going to grab this BH Cosmetics little rounded, like dome topped flat brush. See what happens when you close your lid? I did it. I did it. Don't do that. It's naughty. Let it dry. Don't close your age. Don't close your eye, because you will glue it shut and it does not feel good. I don't know if you guys can see it. Trying not to shut my eye. It's really hard when you have really hooded lids to not let that fold over and then get glued together. And I'll just start placing it right where I put that glue. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Oh, I love that. And you don't want to wipe it, you just want to pack it on. So that's what I'm doing here. Trying not to get it up into the crease, but if you do a little bit, it's okay. Might be smart to do your face after you do a really glittery eye look like this, but. And then I'm going to grab this Moda Pro brush, the BMX 430, and I'm going to pick up that Roxanne shade again, right there. And I'm going to just use that to kind of blend into where I place that glitter. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the inner corner. Now I'm just taking a combo of Hilster and Twerk, I believe it's called Twerk, and I'm just using that to define the inner, the very inner and the very outer corner, as well as the very top of the halo eye there, just to add a little bit more definition. And then you can kind of just use the brush to tip it up, kind of buff up that shade. just a little bit. Come back in with that blending brush. Get rid of any harsh lines. I'm going to grab this Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Liner, and it is in the shade Black. I'm going to just run that right along my lash line. Now I'm grabbing these faux mink lashes. They're really dramatic, but since this eye look is really dramatic, they're kind of perfect. So I'm going to actually have to trim these up a little bit because I know they're way too long for my eyes. I am using my Duo Lash Glue in Black. And you just want to get it as close to the lash line as possible. For mascara, I'm using this Maybelline Lash Stiletto, and I'm going to just place that on my lashes to help them blend with the falsies better. Now that both eyes are done, I'm going to go ahead and take my Tarte Shape Tape and my Tarte Shape Tape in Fair, and go ahead and place that under my eyes and all the high points of my face just to highlight. Just a little bit on the forehead, on the chin, and then put it underneath the cheekbones here. Sorry that the light is bright again. When I stopped and then started recording again, it looked too dark, so I turned it up, and then I realized that it's brighter than it was in the last clip, so forgive me, I'll figure it out eventually. Who am I kidding? I've always been like this. I do not know what I'm doing. And I'm just taking my damp beauty blender and just blending that concealer out. So I don't typically cream contour or cream highlight or anything like that, but I kind of wanted to just do it today to do something a little different, kind of stretch myself, you know, challenge myself a little bit. So I'm grabbing this Temptu bronzer. It is a shimmer bronzer, and it came in Boxycharm again like a year ago, and I haven't even used it yet, so I thought it was time. It comes in this little squeeze bottle like this, and I'm just going to, I think I'll just put a little bit on my finger actually, because I don't want to get too heavy-handed with this, and I'm just going to put that, use my finger to place it everywhere where I want to contour. And bring it up the sides here. Start blending that out now before it dries down too much. Definitely blends nicely. I thought it was going to be really intense, but it's not, and it adds a really pretty shimmer to the face. So if you want to go for like a really glowy look, this is perfect for that. I love that once it's blended out, it blends out so nicely. Like, it's not really intense. You could build on it if you wanted it to be more dramatic, but it's not too crazy. I'll grab a little concealer brush. This is BH Cosmetics, and I'll just put a little bit on my hand of that bronzer. So I'll start kind of here in the center. Bring it up to my brow. There you go, and then I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out. I'll grab a little more and put it underneath. Kind of give it the illusion that it's more lifted. Now I'm gonna take this Temptu by Boxycharm Liquid Glow, and I am going to put that on my cheekbones. I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna put it on my hand like this, and then I will apply it with the ridge of my Beauty Blender here. Oh wow, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I haven't used these before. Oh wow. It's not super shimmery, it just has this really beautiful sheen to it that makes it look like you're just super dewy. I love it. And for powder, I'm going to grab this Bare Minerals Invisible Light palette here, and I'm just going to grab this matte shade right here. I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and I'm just going to dip it right into that powder, and I'm just going to press it more than anything right underneath the eye. Now, because I'm more dry now than I used to be, I don't really even feel like I need to set my face very much. Just really the areas that do still get a little oily. I'm going to grab this, the Royal & Ling Nickel shader brush. That's what it looks like right here. And I am going to take this shade right here, the Roxanne shade, and I'm going to start running that along my lower lash line, tapping it out really good and just bringing it up to meet. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower than normal just because I want it to be really smoky. I'm going to go ahead and grab this Pure Cosmetics Duo brush here, and I'm going to grab this side that's got a little bit more of a flat dome tip. It's kind of like a concealer brush. I'm going to use that to get really close to the lash line. And I'm just going to kind of press that in instead of swipe it. And then I'm going to take the other side of this brush and I'm going to grab this pukey shade and I'm going to just run that right underneath to help smoke that out a little bit more. Now I'm grabbing this this Urban Decay Glide On 24/7 Glide On eye pencil, and I'm going to run that along my tight line and my waterline. I'm just going to take this really small little brush here to smudge out that lash line, and to do that I'm going to grab a little bit of this shade here, this shade Twerk, and I'm going to mix that with Hilster. And now I'm going to grab my Maybelline Lash Stiletto mascara and go ahead and run that along my lower lashes. And I think for my inner corner, I want to put a little bit of that same glare that I placed on the lid for this halo eye look, just to do a little something different. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my lash glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it right in the inner corner here. Some of that glitter, and just pack it right in the inner corner there. For blush, I'm going to grab my City Color Shimmer Blush, and I am going to place that all over the apples of my cheeks. And then I like to grab my Beauty Blender and kind of blend that out a little bit so it's not too intense. And that kind of helps melt it into the skin a little bit too. Now I'm going to grab my Ofra highlighter, and I want to put it over the top of that liquid highlighter by Temptu just to intensify it a little bit. And I'm going to grab this Luxie 660 brush to apply. And then I think I want to deepen up my contour just a little bit. So I'm going to grab my Fiona Styles contouring kit here, and I like to blend all three colors. It broke, don't mind how horrible it looks. But I'm just going to grab this big Moda Pro, I think it is a pointed blush brush, but I like to use it for bronzer and contouring. I'm just going to mix three of those shades together. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray my face before I do my lips with some matte Fix Plus spray. Okay, I think I'm going to grab my Morphe lip liner in the shade Backseat Love, and I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. And I'll go ahead and fill in my lips with it as well. Now I think I'm going to grab this Rimmel lipstick. I think it's in the shade, let's see, it's in the shade, it's Nude Time. And I'm going to go ahead and put that all over my lips. I'm going to grab this Kiss of Shine by Nivea. It's a lip gloss. And I'm going to just use my finger and dab that in all over the lips. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.